Hello students, I am soft skills trainer from Department of Career Planning and Development, Chandigarh University. Today we'll be looking a topic called tense. So we all know that at times whenever we are speaking or even when we are writing, we actually tend to commit some mistakes as per the usage of tense. So we try and sort it out by learning about present tense today. Okay, let's start this particular session. So our first tense is present tense. So there are four different forms of this particular tense. Number one is your simple present or present indefinite, then is your present continuous, then the third one is present perfect, and the fourth one is present perfect continuous. Okay, so we have basic four forms of present tense: simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. So we'll be looking each of them one by one. Okay, let's move on to the first tense, simple present or present indefinite. So first of all, we need to understand what's the formation for this particular tense is. So you need to remember basic rules and basic formulas that we have for these tenses. Even if you're not able to memorize them, if you can just memorize some sentences related to them, it will be more easier for you guys to remember them. Okay, so the first formation goes like this: if the subject is singular, I've already told you that in verb, you know what happens in verb when you add s or es in the end of after a word, it actually becomes singular. Okay, but if you remove ses, it becomes plural. So your does is actually used for singular, your do will be used for plural. Okay, so for if the subject is singular for a positive sentence, so the formation or the sentence structure goes like this: it's the subject plus first form of the verb plus s/es plus your object. So the basic example for this is he speaks English very well. Okay, so for a negative sentence, just you need to add does not. So he does not speak English very well. Okay, you need to understand this thing. So you'll not be adding s after speak. Okay, and also at times student write he do not speak. So I've told you that for singular we use ses with the verb, and for plural we do not use ses with the verb. Again, if the subject is plural, that is your I, we, they, you, or plural subject, so the positive sentence would be subject plus first form of the verb plus object. They speak English very well. And for the negative sentence is they do not speak English very well. I hope you are clear with the formation. Okay, let's move on to some simple rules regarding simple present. Okay, so your simple present is actually used basically for your regular actions, some irregular actions, habits, and universal truth. For regular actions, for example, I come here daily. Irregular action, earthquakes come in Japan. Habits, he smokes. And universal truth, the sun rises in the east. Okay, there's this second rule that you need to remember carefully is to express a planned work in near future. For example, if you've already confirmed a meeting or your trip to some country, some city, or some state, and if it's a planned trip, planned visit, so we'll be using simple present. Okay, so the Prime Minister leaves for China next week. So second tense in present is your present continuous. So the formation of present continuous for positive sentence is subject plus is mr plus verb first form plus ing plus object. Let's have a look at an example. He is trying hard to complete the degree. He is trying hard to complete the degree. And the negative sentence is subject plus is mr plus not plus verb first form plus ing plus object is he is not trying hard to complete the degree. Okay, So basic rules, for example, this particular tense is used for representing actions that are going in the present moment. So the teacher is delivering the lecture. The second rule says that at times there are some actions that are going on but we are not able to see them. So for those actions we use present continuous tense. For example, population is increasing day by day. We cannot see the increment in the population, but we know that population, with every passing day our population is increasing. And second such example is coastal areas are getting submerged. Okay, so this one is really important. At times student commit mistake while writing or attempting these type of questions. Okay, so we use simple present for routine action, not present continuous. Just see the difference. My father is working in a bank and my brother is studying in a school. You know, this particular sentence seems right whenever you speak, whenever you write, but actually it's not the correct way of writing, because his father actually works, that his daily routine, that he goes to bank. His brother is actually studying in a school, that means he goes to school daily. So that means both these actions are will be counted under daily routines. So my father works in a bank and my brother studies in a school. So that is the correct way of writing this sentence, not this the above one. Okay, moving on to your present perfect tense. This is the third one. Okay, so for positive sentence we have subject plus has have plus verb, third form plus object. The teacher has explained the use of the verb to the class. For the negative, subject plus has have plus not plus verb, third form plus object. He has not tried to complete his course. Okay, so basic rules regarding present perfect is recently, why it is being, where it is being used is recently completed actions come under present perfect category. Okay, the actions which are just completed in a moment, so those actions are actually used in present perfect. Okay, so this is the example. He has come to Delhi recently. So this particular word, actually this word recently gives us this feeling that okay, he has recently moved to the Delhi. That means action has been completed recently, and that's why we are using present perfect. So recently completed actions comes under the category of present perfect. Okay, the second rule is when work is important, note the time. So when work is important, note the time, and also the time is also not mentioned. So where we can use present perfect is where work is important and not the time, and also when the time is also not mentioned, then we use present perfect. So we have progressed a lot, we have reached the moon, science has given us many new inventions. Now just take this note into consideration. When past time is mentioned, just understand this thing. When past time is mentioned, then we use simple present, not present perfect. So this particular rule or this particular note actually is the one of the favorite topic on which you will be given some error detection sentences. So just remember that. So whenever you have time in a sentence, okay, that has present sense, so you'll be using simple present, not present perfect. So just go through these two sentences. Science has given us many new inventions in the 19th century. Science has given us many new inventions in the 19th century. Actually that is the wrong way of writing this particular sentence. The right way is science gave us many life saving, or science gave us many new invention. Okay, the science gave us many life-saving drugs in the 19th century. That's the correct way of writing. So I would say out of all the rules that we'll be studying, this one will be one of the most important in the present tense. Okay, so another rule is, okay, for this one, if after since simple past is used, then before since we use present perfect. Okay, so I haven't seen him since he left India. Okay, so if before since, if after since there is this simple past is used, then before since will be using present perfect. If the sentence starts with since, the simple past will be used with since in the first part of the sentence, and then present perfect. So since he joined the army, he has not taken any leave. So here is this particular mistake, that it should be taken, not take. He has not taken any leaves. Okay, moving on to the last, the tense present perfect continuous. Okay, so this is the last one in the present category, is your present perfect continuous. The formation for this particular sentence, for the positive sentence, goes like this: subject plus has, have plus been, verb first form plus ing plus objects plus for slash since plus time. At times you might feel this is such a long formula that you might not be able to remember it, but actually this is the these are just to understand what the sentence structure will be. It's not that hard to remember, just need to somehow understand some few basic sentences and you are good to go. So this is the thing, this is a sentence: she has been trying to learn French for 1 month. For negative sentence, he has not been able to crack the code for 1 month. Okay, so now where your present perfect continuous is actually used, PPC or present perfect continuous is used to represent an action that started in the past and is still going on. So action that has started in the past and is still going on, for that we use present perfect continuous. I have been living in Delhi for 5 years. I have been living in Delhi for 5 years. Just let's have a quick rewind, quick recap for those all the rules that we've just did. So your first one was simple present, used for regular, irregular habits, universal truth. And then is your present continuous. Present continuous is the tense that is used for the action or the task that is going on at present. Present perfect is actually used for the recently completed task, and present perfect continuous is used for a task that has started in the past but is still going on. So I hope you have grasped the meaning and usage of all these 4 tenses in the present category. Okay, let's have some practice question before we wind up. So just try and find some error. There will be one error, not some error. There will be one error in each sentence. So I have not seen him since 20 years, and so I cannot say with certainty whether he is alive or dead. So you can pause the video if you can, take your own time. Okay, so the answer for this thing is option number A. So we'll be using for in place of since. Why actually we are using for in place of since? So student understand, for actually this is a time duration. When we are talking about 20 years, it is actually a time duration, and for time duration we use for, not since. Actually we use since when we have to highlight a time, a specific time. For example, if I would have written this particular sentence in this way: I have not seen him since 1950, then this particular sentence would have made sense. But now if I'm talking about this 20 years, that's a time duration, so I'll be using for instead of since. Okay, moving on. Although I am playing cricket for more than 3 years, I have not been able to score a century. That's a simple one. So this particular individual is playing cricket for more than 3 years. That means the action has started in the past and it is still continuing, because he has not said that I have stopped playing cricket. That means it's a continued action. So there's a problem in part A, change I am to I have been playing. I have been playing cricket for more than 3 years, because the action started in the past and it's still continuing. So we'll be using what? Your present perfect continuous tense. Okay, so I do not know where could he have gone so early in the morning. So was the correct option. I guess there's this problem with A, so there's A missing. Okay, so use could after he, as sentence is not in question form. For question we generally change the helping verb. So this is not a question, so that's why we'll write this particular sentence in this way: I do not know where he could have gone. Okay, where he could have gone, not where could he. Okay, so I have passed the examination 2 years ago. So we have already mentioned the time and we are actually using present perfect. So these two things are actually contradicting. If I have to, if I'm not mentioning time, then I can use present perfect, but if I'm actually mentioning time, then I'll be using simple present. So sorry, this thing, I passed, simple past, I passed is the right formation because time is mentioned. Okay, since he joined this post, he did not take any bribe is a simple one, we have done that. Since he did not take is the right way, is not, he has not taken is the correct way, option number B. So since he joined on this post, he has not taken any bribe. So I've told you, with since you will be using simple past, and after that your present perfect will come. Okay, so I hope you understood all the tenses under present category. Okay, thank you very much, students.